What we thought was going to be a clean finale to the season turned into one of the craziest plot twists in the entire show. Even though they seem to have managed to kill the burned ones, there's a new dictator in town, and she's wearing those dictatorial pants tighter than Hitler in Nazi Germany. So, if you want to find out more about Season 2, here is Fate the Winx Saga Season 2 First Look. Let's dive right into it, shall we? And before we get into the new season and everything we know so far, let's do a short recap. The Winx Saga began as a story about the coming of age of supernatural teenagers. Those who don't fit the normal boundaries of teenage life go to Alphia. This special school for fairies helps these girls learn to cope and control their magical abilities. But everything changed when Bloom enrolled at the school. She was sharing a suite with Stella, Aisha, Tara, and Musa. Just like Bloom, these 4 girls are fairies as well. They too need to learn to control their powers, so they spend the majority of their time learning to master the art of wielding the elements and controlling their emotions. The one thing that completely changed the entire show were the burned ones, the terrible monsters that only come to destroy the students of Alphia. The only one who was able to beat them was Bloom, when she had her final transformation. Speaking of the final episode, you probably heard that Bloom released Rosalind from her magical prison. At first, we thought she was going to look after the 5 main fairies of the show, but as the time progressed, we realized that this was not going to be the case. We didn't know her cruel intentions until the very end. In the face-off between her and Headmistress Dowling, Rosalind snapped her neck using magic. After seeing that Farah had no intention of leaving the school in her hands, so the evil witch took matters into her own hands. After killing and disposing of Farah's body, she finally smashed that like button just like you should, if you haven't done so already. But no, she has actually taken control of Alphia and created the military school that she wanted. Order and obedience were requirements for the students attending the new Alphia. And we have to admit, we shared the confused look on Bloom's face when she saw that Rosalind had taken over the school. So, what does this mean for the show? Surely the director and the studio want to continue their collaboration. The Winx Saga was created after the ultra-popular Winx Club animated show that aired on Nickelodeon. This means that it already had a big enough fan base. The only thing they needed now was to make the show just as good, if not better than the cartoon. And not only did they manage to make a good show, they were breaking records left and right when it comes to Netflix. This show has been on the top binge shows on Netflix by share of binges. The Winx Saga got 4.72% of the binges, and of course we cannot forget that these guys scored 100% rise rating as Netflix's shows on the rise.
But I certainly would love to.
See, Ricky was Stella's best mate till she flirted a little bit too much with Sky here.
To say that they've been doing a good job would be an understatement. And yes, it would have been stupid had they ended a successful show on such a huge cliffhanger. We definitely wanted to see what will happen with Alphia in the future. Netflix listened to their fans, and on February 18th, they tweeted the following. Breaking fairy news. Fate the Winx Saga will return for a 2nd season. Then, that same day, they even uploaded a short trailer on their YouTube channel, where they also shared the news. So yeah, we're going to be getting a 2nd season of the Winx Saga. Watching the trailer, we noticed that Netflix has even told us about the number of episodes we should be expecting in the next season. From the original 6 in Season 1, Season 2 will have 8 big episodes, at least 2 of which will be more than an hour long. And yes, we absolutely think that this low number of seasons is responsible for the quality of the content.
Dad, she's crazy, you know that.
You need to be more open with us.
So this is a good start teaching your daughter she has no privacy or boundaries or...
So, the question now remains, when will the next season be available for binging? Well, the only thing we know so far is that there is going to be a 2nd season. The release date has yet to be confirmed, and the global pandemic is still making things uncertain and difficult for production houses. If we use the past as a guide, then we'll realize that filming for Season 1 began in September of 2019. Then it took them about 16 months before they had a show that was ready to air on Netflix. So if everything goes according to plan, we should be expecting Season 2 of this show to hit Netflix sometime in the autumn of 2022. Assuming, of course, that the pandemic won't make things even more difficult. And in this upcoming season, we will definitely be having some changes to the cast. Now, don't get us wrong, the showrunners are not planning on killing off some of the major heroes of the show. But because of the giant plot twist in the Season 1 finale, we're definitely going to be seeing some characters go. First on the list would be Eve Best, who played Headmistress Dowling before Rosalind snapped her neck. Speaking of which, we'll definitely be seeing more of Leslie Sharp, who's playing this evil female character. As for the others, we're going to have the same cast of fairies as before. Abigail Cowen will still play Bloom, Precious Mustapha will be portraying Aisha, Eliot Salt will reprise her role as Tara, Elisha Applebaum will be playing Musa, Hannah Vander Westhuysen will be returning as Stella, Danny Griffin will also reprise his role as Sky. Oh, and we almost forgot. Now that Andreas has pretty much returned from the dead, we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of Ken Dugan. The cast has also said that we might get to see a beloved character from the original animated show return in the series. Of course, we're talking about Flora. In the show, she was replaced by Tara, her cousin on the show, so the creator Brian Young said that we might get her back for some of the upcoming seasons. And finally, the fun part. This is where we get to talk about what we should expect to happen in the next 8 episodes of this show. The first thing that comes to mind is the changes in Alphea. The entire school is patrolled by police, and the lovable characters that once roamed this school are no longer there. Order and discipline will replace the freedom and creativity that were present in Season 1. Without a doubt, we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff changing for the worse as Alphea becomes a cold place for learning governed by evil people.
Whatever you're thinking of doing, I'm here.
It's even possible that the 5 fairies will try to defeat Rosalind and free the school from her iron claws. The other big thing that will most likely be part of Season 2 is Bloom's new powers. Since she was able to defeat the burned ones in the finale, her powers grew exponentially. She finally realizes that she is the fairy of the dragon flame and the most powerful of them all. If she can manage to control her power and use it to fight the burned ones, she might unleash a magic that is so powerful that it will end up destroying these creatures for good. And finally, as we saw the first fairy sprout wings, it's no wonder that we'll be seeing the other 4 do the same in the upcoming season. However, Bloom might need to learn to cope with the exhaustion caused by using the wings. And will this be the case for the other fairies? Now that Bloom has figured out how to do this, it won't be a big surprise if she teaches the rest of the fairies how to activate their own wings. But then again, only time will tell. On a related note, we wanted to know what you think about the actors' chemistry on the set. Is it any good? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.